People of the earth, Lord have mercy. We got a double banger. Jujutsu Kaisen 259. I'm not reading all that. Y'all already know it's a demon infested 31 or whatever the fuck. We start this shit off with a flashback of when they were having that 1 month of training with Gojo. Well, not with Gojo, but before Gojo fought Sukuna. We're cutting back to, I guess, what they were training about, or what the training, yeah, you get what I'm saying. So Choso's like, the trick to convergence. Convergence is kind of like this, then like that, then a little. He's basically a trash teacher with a good brother, you know? So I guess that counts. So Kusakabe is like, think of bathing in hot water. You can feel the heat encompassing your entire body. In that same way, you can expand your blood vessels, creating a vague outline of your body. That's the basic foundation of blood manipulation. Then Yuji grabs his pants and he's like when you piss yourself? And he's like, yeah, whatever works. And they're basically explaining convergence more and more. And then I feel like this was a waste explaining this, because they cut right into saying that they don't need to teach him this shit because there's not enough time. For starters, we like right here, we don't have time to make blood manipulation a potent weapon for Itadori. It'll be better for him to get the basics of stitching and stopping blood down. Choso's tight because he's like, yo, that's my little brother, I want to teach him shit. And we cut to a full page of Sukuna doing the fuga, the fuego, whatever you want to call that shit, because that's how the last chapter ended. He opened that shit, and they give us a rundown of how it works. But finally, Ryumen's Sukuna can only open the furnace doors after preparing his ingredients, cleave and dismantle. Despite their absurd firepower, the flames within the furnace lack both speed and range. To amend this, Sukuna undertook another binding vow. Outside of his domain furnace, it cannot be used on multiple targets. This binding vow enabled Sukuna to not only reduce all within the malevolent shrine's range to dust, but ensure that all the resulting particles were matted in the explosive cursed energy akin to furnace. On top of this, Sukuna altered the functionality of the domain to one that only allowed entry to living beings, maintaining the shrine's output while sealing it airtight. This shit is bonkers, bro. How are they still fighting this man? Yo, nah. All right, let's go to the next page. We see his whack ass servant talking about this is our victory. Then we see the goat, Ikari, and then we see Yuji, and then we see a little panel of the furnace opening, like it's heading to the ground. And then you get this page of the whole floor basically turning into a fucking volcano, bro, of cursed energy. Yo. All right. Thermobaric explosives and the transformed particle matter danced, raining down on every inch of the domain. The heat of furnace spread the detonations immediately, birthing scalding, instantly compressing and decompressing shockwaves, ensuring the death of all living beings within the domain. An attack capable of instantaneously obliterating Mahoraga back in Shibuya. This is Ryumen Sukuna's ultimate move. Son, this is bonkers. This is bugged out. Do y'all see what Mahoraga was doing to Gojo? This move is supposed to annihilate this nigga, bro. Yo, in one hit. All right, let me stop geeking on going. We cut into a black panel of just dialogue. I guess it's more explaining. On top of constantly altering the necessary conditions for his various techniques, the repeated use of binding vows to alter his effective range meant that during his battle with Gojo Satoru, the furnace remained cool as Sukuna didn't have the freedom to unseal its flames. Yo, so they basically saying he ain't need this shit. Yo, Gege is foul. He hates Gojo so much, he keeps stomping on his grave, yo. Basically, he ain't need that shit. Then we see Yuji. He's like, all the light is gone in the area from where Yuji's at. And then he's like, Choso, Choso looks already more fucked up than him, and he's like, what are you doing? You see Yuji in like a barrier type of like enclosed space, and you see Choso, and he's disintegrating as he's talking to Yuji, and Yuji's like, you can't do this. And Choso's like, I'm sorry, I was useless during training. Your big brother tends to do things instinctively. Yuji calls out to him one more time, and then as he's disappearing, he starts saying instinctively, huh? You really hit the nail on the head. And then we cut into like a, basically, I guess this is what he pictures himself when he dies, just like how Gojo was with his friends when he passed away and shit. So he's like, Yuji, you got a grasp on reverse curse technique much faster than I did. And then Yuji's basically like, yo, that's because Sukuna was in my body. And Choso's like, yo, but little brothers are naturally supposed to pass their big brothers. And he's like, and then he looks up and he's like, I need to apologize to Tsukumo too. He's like, Yuji, I'm sorry, I'm leaving you again on your own. And Yuji's like, that's what you're worried about, my nigga? My G, my spleege, what's going on? Then Choso's like, you were there for me when I needed someone the most. That's more than enough. And then somebody says that that's so, and then it's his other brothers in the little pods, and they're basically telling him, as long as we're talking, we can forget about the cold. Don't worry about us. It's okay. Let's talk. Our 150 years were all but a few days to Yuji. And then, damn, yo, did you see Choso, man, looking like a burnt mummy? This is fucked up. Thank you, Yuji. Thank you for being my little brother. Yuji pauses for a second and he says, thank you. And then we cut into his barrier disintegrating and furnace basically finishing up. And then he says, big brother. And then we cut into another shot of the barrier completely gone. And Yuji's looking around. Is everyone dead? Is anyone alive? And then we cut into the narrator saying, Itadori Yuji always told himself he was nothing but a cog in a machine, that he'd fulfill his role as needed. He should have been able to repay his brother who gave his life protecting him. Yet, as his eyes fell upon scorched earth, cooled stale air, and settled dust, he found his conviction shaken to his roots. And then you see a step forward, and it's Sukuna, full body shot, son. Yo, he looked like a gangster, I'm not gonna lie. Then you see Yuji, half burnt face, looking like Harvey Dent, talk about Sukuna. And then we see another big brother, Mr. Oogie Woogie. Aoi Todo. Son, I'm hyped. This whole chapter was hyped. And then we cut back into, I guess, Todo discussing strategy with Mei. So she's like, I see. Using my crows and your technique, we can evacuate people from within Sukuna's domain. Being caught in that, and then Todo's like, being caught in that domain means instant death. I can't guarantee it'll save lives, but it's worth trying. Naturally, you'll be situated outside of the domain, so it'll require you extending the effective range of Boogie Woogie by quite a bit. You'll likely have over 4 targets to manage too. Do you think you and that arm of yours is really up to the task, Mr. Todo? And he's like, I can't be certain. And then we cut into him looking at his arm in a big ass fucking cast. But he's like, I can still feel the pulse of Boogie Woogie. And then he tells her we can't let you see, when I read this part, for a second I thought what's her face was coming back, because they hinted at it. They was like their resonance. But she's not coming back. She's not coming back. I don't see her coming back. Let me see. He's like, we can't let brother know about this plan. And he's like, you know why I don't? He's like, you know why, don't you, Miss May? And when he says their resonance, he's basically implying that because Yuji and Sukuna have such a strong link that there's a possibility that he can leak the plans out by sharing consciousness and shit like that. So he doubles down on not letting Yuji know, and she's like, all right, I'll keep my mouth shut. My mouth is as tight as my purse strings. Okay, baby. So we come back to the narrator again. He's like, his plans with Mei, the time spent fine-tuning his technique alongside Akotsu Yuta, Todo himself being unable to verify the safety of his allies, the fact that he couldn't swap Itadori or Chozo, who were caught at the epicenter of Ryomen Sukuna's domain, there simply wasn't enough time to tell Itadori Yuji all of this. Why, you ask? And then we come back into present time. I'm sorry, brother. However, everyone is most likely fine. So Yuji's like, what the fuck? Most likely fine. And he's like, I'll believe him. That's all I can do. And then he punches his hands together and they start stepping to the boy. But then the narrator lets us know again, after using his domain, Sukuna has entered a state in which it is painstakingly difficult to use his curse technique. Oh my god. No break next week, by the way. No fucking break. Let's go. But yeah, yo, R.I.P. Choso, man. R.I.P. the big brother GOAT. But as one big brother leaves, another one takes the stage. This shit is gonna be crazy. So Sukuna can't use his domain, and he can't use anything curse technique related. So this is just gonna be straight hands. And I think Todo has cursed energy left. I think Yuji's probably cooked in terms of cursed energy, but you know, he got hands and feet for days. So we're definitely gonna find out next week what he's about. But yeah, let me know in the comments, man. This shit is gonna be crazy. This shit is gonna be crazy. I really don't know how they're gonna be Sukuna. If it's not now, I really don't see how this shit is gonna end. I really don't. But yeah, let me know. Till next time, y'all.